That's so on brand, it hurts. No, like that's so on brand. We can never use that bit again because nothing they ever do could be that on brand. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 5 of the regular season where the Astros win 10-0 over the Toronto Bluejays in a night where Ronel Blanco records a no-hitter in his first start of the season. Ronel Blanco, who a week ago did not know that he was going to make the opening day roster. You get it, guys? I have egg on my face because they did this to follow up a 4-game sweep at the hands of the Yankees where everyone kind of thought the sky was falling, including myself. I thought about doing a gaslighting joke, and then I remembered that I'm not actually flame resistant, so, you know, this weird sketched out tape job is what I ended up going with. The Astros in the first 7 innings of this game put up 10 runs, and they put up 11 total runs in the 36 innings against the Yankees. On brand! Kyle Tucker and then the bottom half of the Astros lineup just hit out of their minds tonight. You had Kyle Tucker with a multi-home run game. He was magnificent. Yainer Diaz with a multi-home run game. He also called a pretty good game behind the plate. We're going to talk about that in a second, by the way. We'll come back around for that. Jose Abreu had his first hit of the year, and you gotta be happy about something. You also had Chas McCormick with a pair of doubles. You had Jake Myers with a couple of hits and an RBI. The outfield combined for 6 hits, 4 of them for extra bases, and I want to say, what's that? 5 RBI. Really good night for the outfield, like holy crap. You also then had Jeremy Pena hitting his first home run since July 5th of last year. Just soak that in for a second. It's been a long time. Jeremy Pena has come into the season and not even looked like postseason Jeremy Pena, which is already a monster. Like, he would eat that Jeremy Pena for breakfast kind of good. I obviously, hitting 444 is not sustainable for a full season. Jeremy Pena is actually going to be a monster this, like, just actual demon-slaying monster this season. And then you go to the battery of the game. You go to Ronel Blanco and Yainer Diaz, which in my opinion is the storyline of this game. Ronel Blanco last Tuesday found out that he was making the opening day roster. A move that I wasn't even sure in the moment that I really agreed with. I was unmoved by Ronel Blanco in 2023. I don't think really anyone was moved by him. But he had another really good spring, and he was doing well in that game against Sugarland in the little exhibition game in Minute Maid. And then as they walk him off the mound to go pull him from that start, they tell him, hey, congratulations, you have made the rotation. And I was like, that's a really cool moment, but, you know, I don't know that it's going to last, and we still don't know that it's going to last. This is one game. But to go from a week ago, hoping that you could do something in your final game of spring that maybe might crack you the opening day roster, to then 6 nights later, when the Astros are in a tailspin, they are in the gutter following the first series, they are dead on the side of the road, and you go out and pitch a no-hitter. That is one of the most ridiculous storylines of the past few years for the Astros. Like, if you put it in a vacuum and remove anything of the World Series or the playoffs, if you're just talking about single regular season game stories, not season overarching stories, but just in-game stories, that might be the most ridiculous. I'm dead serious. Ronel Blanco, with that performance tonight, he can stay. He can stay as long as he feels like. I don't even care. That was Herculean from Ronel Blanco. And it was not a cheap no-hitter. This wasn't some game where he had a couple of strikeouts, ton of hard-hit balls with like 4 or 5 walks. He walked 2 guys. Actually, he walked 1 guy twice. It was George Springer both times, because of course it was George Springer. He might not be able to get a run, but he can still do that. And I'm not talking about overall. I'm talking about in this specific game. Let me clarify that. Respect to George Springer. 7 Ks, and he was looking great to begin with. Also, gotta give love where it's due. Joe Espada, not pulling him, just letting him ride it out, giving him this game, and seeing what he was made of. Beautiful job by the manager. I know that it would have been so easy to be like, well, you know, it's his first start. We don't know what we've got. We don't want him to. No, just let him go. And he did. And he delivered. An incredible night from Ronel Blanco. And to give Yainer Diaz praise, because last season he was talked about why he wasn't getting all the different starts, and oh well, we don't know how the pitchers feel with them, and we don't know how good he is at calling games. And since being named the starter in 5 games, the Astros pitching has been fantastic. They've been great. Like, Yainer Diaz has done an unbelievable job behind the plate, and then tonight, orchestrating a no-hitter with Ronel Blanco. They're comfortable with him. And he had a monster night behind the plate, mashing again Yainer Diaz. I want to get it right. He's rocking a 444 average and a 1278 slug percentage for Yainer Diaz. Like, he is going to be an all-star catcher. And I'm not talking about down the road. I'm talking about this year. He has had such a ridiculous start to the season. And I talked about it 1,000 different times in 1,000 different ways last year. That when he hits as the catcher, he hits like Mike Piazza. And I was saying that, not hyperbole. If you look at the numbers, the career numbers for Mike Piazza and the numbers of Yainer as a starter, they were basically bang even. And I said I would love to see if he could do it over a season as the starting catcher. It's only 5 games. But he has exceeded every expectation I had for him through 5 games. What a absolute flaming hot start for Yainer Diaz. And I don't want to seem like I'm living game to game and, oh, well, they're back on trajectory to win the World Series and go 158-4. But I said yesterday that if they were to lose this game, I would go full nuclear. And that they couldn't just win this game. They had to crush the Blue Jays in it. And, winning by 10 runs and not allowing a singular hit kind of qualifies as that. They had a horrific start to the season. I still have a lot of questions about certain pitchers on the staff. I still need certain players offensively to wake up. I still am terrified of the early part of the bullpen. But they followed up the gut punch by showing that they at least had a pulse. And that is a very, very, very good way to respond to that series. If they can go out and make another statement win tomorrow night against Toronto again, then you're going to start to kind of gain the trust back after completely gaslighting us through the first 4 games. That game tomorrow is at 8:10 Eastern, 7:10 Central. The Astros are sending Framber Valdez to the mound, who is desperately going to be looking for some form of redemption following the opening day game. And the Blue Jays are going to send Jose Berrios to the mound. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed this video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.